Hello. Welcome back to another CNC project video with Legacy Woodworking Machinery. We're continuing our Convertible China Hutch project, and today everything we've produced in the past couple of videos is going to be coming together as we glue up the front face frame for this lower cabinet. This might look like one of the simpler steps in the project, but once the glue goes on, there's no reset button. Every precise cut the CNC made can be wasted if this assembly isn't flat, square, and clamped correctly. So today a challenge isn't making accurate parts, it's making sure I don't ruin them. Before I even think about opening the glue bottle, the first thing I want to do is verify that every component is oriented correctly. The rabbets on the left and right stiles need to face the outside edges because they'll eventually connect to the side face frames. The hinge pockets on the top rail need to face the front of the cabinet, and the dado in the bottom rail needs to face the inside of the cabinet where the bottom panel will eventually fit. This is one of those moments where slowing down for 30 seconds can save hours of rebuilding. One incorrectly oriented part would mean tearing apart a fresh glue-up or remaking components altogether. With everything verified, it's finally time for glue. One thing I really appreciate about these iso-lock joints is how naturally they come together. After all the machining we've done in the previous videos, it's satisfying to watch each joint slide together with almost no resistance. That's the payoff of taking time to dial in your machine and your tool paths. The CNC work is finished, now the assembly has to live up to the same level of precision. I only applied glue to the iso-lock joints themselves. As I assemble each section, I wipe away any excess glue right away using wet wipes. They're quick, convenient, and keep cleanup simple before the glue-up has a chance to cure. Soon all four corners are assembled, and that's when the real pressure begins. We all know that wood glue only gives us a limited amount of working time. Depending on the glue we're using, that may only be 15 to 30 minutes before everything starts locking into place. Once that clock starts ticking, every decision matters. At this point, I have two priorities. The first is making sure every male and female iso-lock joint stays perfectly flush. If one side sits slightly higher than the other, the misalignment carries into the rest of the project. It can affect how other assemblies fit together and leave you with a lot of sanding or planing just to recover from something that could have been prevented during glue-up. To keep everything flat, I clamp each corner directly against my assembly table using blocks that press the joints firmly against the surface. I also place brown paper underneath the entire assembly. If any glue squeezes out, it sticks to the paper instead of accidentally gluing the face frame to the table. Once everything dries, the paper sands off easily. The second priority is making sure the entire frame stays perfectly square. Even the best fitting joints won't save an assembly that's glued up out of square. As more assemblies are added later, small errors start stacking on top of each other. Sometimes you can correct them, sometimes you end up rebuilding parts. I'd rather spend a few extra minutes checking for square now than several hours fixing problems later. To pull everything together, I decided to use a strap clamp. I had good luck using these on the left and right side face frames, so I figured this large frame would be just as straightforward. It wasn't. Because this face frame is much wider, the rabbets along the edges didn't give the strap enough surface to grip. Twice, the clamp slipped completely off while I was tightening everything. Now I'm racing the glue clock while trying to get the assembly back together. I may not look stressed on camera, but I was sweating. At that moment, I'm not thinking about woodworking anymore. I'm just thinking, please stay together long enough for me to get this clamped. Fortunately, after getting everything back together, I was finally able to hold enough pressure to check the diagonals, everything measured square. Once I confirmed that, I locked 3 corners down against the table, and I used a simple scrap of wood as a bridge clamp to hold the final corner in place. Sometimes the simplest shop-made solutions end up saving the day. Looking back, I don't think I'd use the strap clamp again for a face frame of this size. In theory, it's faster because it's only one clamp. In practice, it just caused more problems than what it was worth. If you found a clamping method that works best for face frames just like this, please let me know. Leave a comment down below and share what works best in your shop. There's always something new that we can learn from each other. Now this next part may not be for you, but we do have project plans available on Legacy's website at legacywoodworking.com/projects. And we'll leave the link in the video description below. If you're enjoying this series, please give us a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss the next stage in the project, please consider subscribing. Now in the next video, we're going to be bringing even more together as we assemble the front face frame, the left and right face frames, as well as the bottom and back panels. This will be the first time that we are going to be bringing everything together to complete a lower cabinet structure. It's a big milestone in this project, and I'm excited to show you how it will all come together. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in that next video.